We are with Grandmaster Irina Krush. Irina, you picked it up where you left it last year with dominant victory. How do you feel right now?
Yeah, I feel pretty good about this game. I feel like, I got a playable position from the opening, something that I was at least interested by. And probably the most interesting moment was when I sacked the pawn, or at least I offered that e3 pawn up.
And that was at which move?
Yeah, it's coming up shortly.
Yes.
Right here. Oh, yeah. So
with
when I was playing Bishop E1, yeah, so I was like, the whole theme of this position is kind of piece improvement, right? So my bishop on D2 is not the best. I moved him to E1 to have, the idea of bishop H4. And I was thinking, if black plays knight C5, of course I can play bishop F2 or I can play bishop B4. But ultimately, yeah, I thought, well, the knight went there to take my bishop. I don't really like to give up bishops, So bishop B1 seemed like a reasonable pawn sack because E3 pawn is weak. And as long as my king is on H1, I don't really mind losing it. All my pieces get to be on really good squares. I would say, like in this position, the rook on E8 is still not in the game. The knight's on C5, a bit awkward. Bishop on D7 is restricted. So I just thought, like, well,
Did you feel like you have enough speed for your attack right now?
I thought this is what is called compensation in chess, right? Like if this isn't compensation, then I don't know what is. Yeah.
And you played bishop to H4, rook to E5, and by the way, she was spending a lot of time. Did that play into your consideration to give up the pawn just because she was getting low on time?
No, I think that was really just my chess understanding, give up the pawn. I would have done that pretty much in any scenario, but certainly it made things harder for her to defend, a position where white has the initiative and then you have no time.
Yep.
And honestly, I never saw anything like very convincing for black. I mean, okay, it was not my job to solve all of black's problems, but really, I didn't see something that, I mean, I felt like her attempts were not quite going to do it, but I didn't know what was going to save black in this position.
Yeah, and that's exactly what happened. All of your pieces were just swarming around her king. And this pin was so difficult to get
rid
of.
Pins. I like
Pin it to win it.
Yeah. I have a video on my YouTube channel that I recently started called Pins Are Dangerous.
There you go.
So I guess, this will be example number 2.
Excellent, excellent. Knight to D7, knight to F5. And after that, you just broke through and you finished it off.
Yeah, I noticed there was going to be a little
C6.
check here. Actually, I'll just show you at the end, if she takes my queen. The key point is that there's bishop c5 check. And then I was still trying to evaluate this position because I was like, well, rook cd1, and then pawn d4, opening the bishop with rook e2 ideas. And here I was just thinking, maybe just bishop d3. Just like don't mess around and don't let rook e2 happen. And eventually, okay, the dark squared bishop should be decisive.
Probably the smart decision in this position. Irina, there's something about the American Cup. It just feels like you're coming with extra motivation, but also a lot of confidence. Do you feel that way as well?
Well, it's interesting. It's only the second time around. It's hard to say. But I mean, I feel good about this tournament. I'm happy to be here. I'm always happy to be in St. Louis. And I do like this format. It's a very unique format. I don't get to play anything else like that. This kind of match format. I mean, the only other thing is like a world championship knockout, something like that I've played in before. But that's kind of maybe it doesn't give you any second chances like this one does. Although I'll try not to not to need second chances, as much as possible. And yeah, just happy to be here.
And that's exactly what you did last year. Congratulations. We'll see you tomorrow.
Thank you, Cristian.
Absolutely. Thank you, Irina. Congratulations indeed. Just